Hello, NBA fans. Every day we have news about the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm a Lakers fan and I ask for your help by subscribing to the channel and giving me your thumbs up. Center Jackson Hayes has improved his game, but he is still not a reliable backup to replace DeAndre Ayton when he is unavailable. Jackson Hayes will be traded in 2026, and the Lakers are looking for a more decisive player to play center. Jackson Hayes has less than a month left to cement his Lakers role. The Los Angeles Lakers center is trade eligible on December 15th, and so are many others across the NBA. Blink and the NBA season will pass by your eyes very quickly. The Los Angeles Lakers have already played 15 games in 2025-26. With every passing matchup, the calendar ticks closer and closer to in-season trades. Jackson Hayes should be paying close attention to that loud clock in the background. Given the timing of when Hayes re-upped with Los Angeles in the offseason, there is less than 1 month left until Rob Pelinka can start properly exploring whether the frontcourt needs help. Hayes will be trade eligible on December 15th. That same is true of a ton of backup center options to replace him. It is important to remember that Hayes waived the potential no-trade clause that could have been his when the Lakers center re-signed with the franchise. That means there is nothing stopping the front office from bringing him up in discussions that may pop up. The question now is whether Hayes has done enough to secure his spot as the backup center for the Lakers. If not, the discussion then shifts to what needs to be done for the former lottery pick to stay put where he is. Jackson Hayes' future in Los Angeles remains murky, but not hopeless. Could the Lakers benefit from a better backup than Hayes at the 5 spot? Probably. Has Hayes been terrible in the role? No, he hasn't. Serviceable feels like a fair way to describe Hayes to this point in the season. The Lakers center is not the most inspiring option, by any means, but there is certainly no feeling of him being totally unplayable for Los Angeles. Hayes has averaged 5.3 points and 4.1 rebounds in 16.7 minutes per game off the bench for the Lakers. His chemistry with Luka Doncic as a rim runner and play finisher remains evident, with the backup big man shooting a strong 71.1% from the field on 3.2 attempts per game. The main concern for the job security of Hayes is nothing truly makes him irreplaceable at the job. One would imagine if there is a clear and easy opportunity to get an upgrade in the frontcourt, without gutting the asset pool entirely, Pelinka takes it. There have been encouraging improvements from Hayes. 4.3 personal fouls per 100 possessions is the lowest rate of his career. Even so, given how much Doncic thrives with having 2 strong center options up front, that will be an area to watch once trade talks truly open for this season. The Kings' return sparks a Lakers' offensive onslaught as they win 140-126. The air in the arena was thick with anticipation for the Lakers, a palpable buzz that had nothing to do with the usual Tuesday night crowd. This was different. This was the night the King returned. After a frustrating 14-game absence due to sciatica, LeBron James, in his unprecedented 23rd season, finally took the court. And while his stat line of 11 points and 12 assists might seem modest by his legendary standards, his presence was anything but. It was the catalyst for a Los Angeles Lakers offensive explosion, a tidal wave of scoring that submerged the visiting Utah Jazz in a stunning 140-126 victory. The night wasn't just about a win, it was a statement. The Lakers, now a formidable 11-4, showed the league exactly what they're capable of when their leader is back on the floor. How the Lakers' offense came alive. For a moment, it looked like Utah might play spoiler. They came out firing, putting up 36 points in the first quarter and holding a slim lead at the half. The Jazz's young gun, Keyonte George, was a flamethrower, torching the nets for 33 points and keeping his team in the fight with a ferocity that belied his years. Lauri Markkanen was his usual efficient self, adding another 31 points. But then came the third quarter. It was as if a switch flipped. The Lakers didn't just take the lead, they seized control of the game with a brutal, definitive 21-5 run to close out the period. The ball moved with purpose, shots fell, and the energy in the building transformed from hopeful to electric. This wasn't just a team playing well, this was a team with swagger, a team rediscovering its identity with its floor general back at the helm. Obviously, it's LeBron, and just his presence and his ability is going to lift the team, Austin Reaves said, and his words couldn't have rung truer. Reaves himself was a key beneficiary, pouring in 26 points and getting to the line with aggressive, confident drives. Doncic's dazzling display steals the show. While LeBron's return set the stage, it was Luka Doncic who delivered the show-stopping performance. The superstar guard was simply unstoppable, a whirlwind of basketball genius. He dissected the Jazz defense with surgical precision, dropping a jaw-dropping 37 points to go with 10 assists, 5 rebounds, and 4 steals. Every time Utah made a push, Doncic had an answer. A step-back three, a no-look pass, a clever drive to the basket, he had the entire offensive playbook on display. And he wasn't alone. DeAndre Ayton, quietly establishing himself as a force in the paint, was a monster on the glass, pulling down 14 rebounds to go with a crucial 20 points. LeBron's quiet dominance and historic night. LeBron may not have lit up the scoreboard, but his impact was everywhere. His 12 assists are a testament to his court vision, the way he manipulates defenses and puts his teammates in perfect positions to score. His presence alone creates space and opportunity. The game simply flows differently when he's on the floor. With a pair of three-pointers, James moved past the legendary Reggie Miller for 6th most all-time. It's another milestone in a career full of them, a quiet reminder of his sustained greatness across more than 2 decades. And in a moment that felt scripted for Hollywood, his son, Bronny James, checked in during the final minutes and promptly drained a three-pointer, sending the home crowd into a frenzy. It was a perfect, emotional capstone to a night that was all about the return of a king and the promise of what this Lakers team can become. The final score of 140-126, a season high for the Lakers, is a number that should send a ripple of warning throughout the NBA. The king is back, his new co-star is a certified phenom, and the Lakers are just getting started. LeBron James' best chance to win another ring might actually be with the Lakers. LeBron James made his long-awaited 2025-26 season debut on Tuesday night. It was a historic one for the Los Angeles Lakers superstar, who became the first player in NBA history to suit up for 23 seasons. James, who missed the first 14 games of the campaign due to sciatica, looked strong, helping the Lakers, 11-4, take care of business at home in a 140-126 win over the Utah Jazz. The King starred in more of a facilitator role, dishing out 12 assists to go with his 11 points and 3 rebounds in 29 minutes of action. While he looked like the same LeBron we've grown accustomed to watching in the later stages of his career, it was the first time we saw him in the new-look Lakers lineup that's been revolving around prolific scorers in Luka Doncic and Austin Reaves. It all went according to plan against the Jazz as Doncic, 37 PTS, and Reaves, 26 PTS, continued to carry the load offensively, allowing James to work his way back into the swing of things. There had been speculation throughout the summer and into the season about the 4-time MVP's future in Los Angeles. That was due to the potential of having to take more of a backseat behind Doncic and sometimes Reaves, along with questions about the Lakers' true chances of competing for a championship. Those were fair concerns for James as he embarked on the final few years of his illustrious career. However, Thursday night and the first 15 games have shown that this Lakers team can compete for a title. We've all heard the rumors over the last year of destinations where the future Hall of Famer could go chase one more ring: Dallas, Golden State, New York, and even back home to Cleveland. While those would all have been intriguing landing spots at one time or another, the way the Lakers have looked in 2025-26 makes it clear his best shot to win now and even in the next few years to come is in Los Angeles. LeBron should stay in LA. Now that James is back in the lineup and the Lakers continue to surge, any noise around his departure should quiet down. The 40-year-old is playing on an expiring contract. In the final season of the 2-year, $101.356 million extension he inked to stay in Los Angeles in 2024. A poor start to the season with LeBron on the shelf would have led to major buzz about his future as a pending UFA, but that has been put on the back burner thanks to how well everything went through the first month of the campaign. His return forms a big three with Doncic and Reeves that very few teams in the NBA can match up with. Pair that with the solid play from Ayton and Rui Hachimura and a handful of productive bench pieces in Jake LaRavia, Marcus Smart and others, and the Lakers have the ingredients of a championship-caliber team. And don't forget General Manager Rob Pelinka is always aggressive, and the same approach should be expected as we near the trade deadline. Add another impact piece or two onto the roster already established, and Los Angeles would be a real threat to knock off an Oklahoma City, Denver, or Houston come the postseason. What a story it would be if James were able to add a fifth championship to his resume in year 23, in Los Angeles, as a Laker. JJ Redick is in awe of Lakers star, he's a superhero. Los Angeles Lakers head coach JJ Redick could not stop raving about LeBron James after his former Mind the Game podcast co-host made his season debut on Tuesday. James scored 11 points and attempted only 7 shots, the third fewest of his career, but poured in 12 assists to help the Lakers to a 140-126 win over the Utah Jazz. After the game, Redick called James a superhero for his ability to play basketball at a high level barely a month before his 41st birthday. "I can only speak to my experience," Redick told the media. LeBron, to a lot of us who have played with him, or for some of these guys who grew up watching him, he's a superhero, Redick added. What he's been able to do in this game, there's a handful of guys who have been able to do it. LeBron James rewrites history. James on Tuesday became the first player in NBA history to enter a 23rd campaign, surpassing the previous record set by himself and Vince Carter of most seasons played. Furthermore, he became the oldest player to start a season with a double-double. Before James' season debut, there were widespread concerns that his return would hamper the Lakers' chemistry. However, James played within the flow of the Lakers' offense and did not have too many specific plays run for him. Redick praised James for his unselfish nature and pass-first mentality, which allowed backcourt stars Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic to thrive with a combined 63 points and 11 assists. LeBron James takes backseat. Just thought he played with the right spirit. Very unselfish all night. Was a willing passer, didn't force it, took his drives and his shots when they were there, Redick said of James after Tuesday's win, via ESPN's Dave McMenamin. The defense is going to pay attention to him, particularly when he has the ball in the post, particularly when he's putting pressure on the rim, and I just thought he made a lot of great decisions tonight. Really good to have him back. James, playing in his first game since April 30, 2025, admitted that it took him a while to adjust to the pace of an NBA game. "The pace tested me, but I was happy with the way I was able to go with the guys," he said. "As the game went on, my wind got a lot better. Caught my second wind, caught my third wind. Rhythm is still coming back, obviously. First game in almost 7 months, so everything that happened tonight was to be expected." LeBron James gives strong response to Los Angeles Lakers fit questions. The Los Angeles Lakers have started the NBA season with an 11-4 record. To make things better, LeBron James made his season debut in Tuesday night's win against the Utah Jazz. Some questioned LeBron's fit with the new-look Lakers, but he's given a strong response. James had 11 points and 12 assists against the Jazz. Many thought that his added usage alongside Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves would be a problem, but he's shown that it isn't the case. And James made those issues sound silly when he addressed them after the game. "Yeah, I said it after yesterday's practice. I can fit in with anybody," James told the press after the game. "I don't even understand why that was even a question. What's wrong with these people out here? I can fit right away with anybody. Watching the guys the first 14 games, I just put myself in position while I was watching the games. How can I help the team, and how I can be successful and help the guys? Defense and playmaking are two things LeBron can still do at an elite level. Not having to shoulder the offensive burden will only allow him to be more effective in his 23rd season." James said it in his response, "One has to wonder what the people who questioned him are thinking." LeBron James returns to Lakers re-energized and, hopefully, appreciated. Los Angeles, the night before LeBron James made his historical season debut with the Los Angeles Lakers on Tuesday, becoming the first NBA player to reach his 23rd year, he hung out with Utah Jazz power forward Kevin Love, with whom he won a championship in Cleveland in 2016. It wasn't surprising how James wanted to spend the evening. He's always watching basketball, Love told me. We were together last night, and he was going back and forth between a number of games, as well as watching the Dallas Cowboys play, which I didn't care for. He knows every team's plays. He knows every player's tendency. He just has a true basketball mind. As James enters a season in which he will turn 41 years old following missing the first 14 games because of sciatica, there are many questions surrounding his career. How much longer will he play? Will his game decline? How well will he play alongside Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves? Can he handle this being Doncic's team? But if you ask Love, everyone should be focusing on something else. I don't think we'll fully appreciate him until he's gone and out of the league, Love told me. LeBron James had 11 points and 12 assists in his return on Tuesday. Photo by Ronald Martinez/Getty Images. And as Love emphasized, the sand is quickly falling through the hourglass. I don't know how much longer he'll play, whether it's the end of this year, that he retires. I don't think it will be, Love told me. But at the end of next year there's a high likelihood that will be the case. I don't want to make assumptions on what he's thinking or what he's feeling or how his family is feeling. But it's coming sooner rather than later, and he's been pretty outspoken about that. The bigger point Love was making was that it's remarkable that we can still watch one of the greatest players ever. That's what matters. Not the storylines and questions and criticisms that constantly swirl around James. Not to say that any of that bothers the superstar. James was giddy that he was able to return to the court Tuesday after missing the start of the season for the first time since he began playing basketball at age 9, something which he said tested him physically, mentally, and spiritually. Things went pretty well for the 40-year-old, who hadn't played in an NBA game since April 30th. He had 11 points on 4 for 7 shooting, 12 assists and 3 rebounds in 30 minutes in the Lakers' 140-126 win over the Jazz. He effortlessly facilitated Doncic, 37 points, and Reeves, 26 points, breathing hope, instead of doubt, into what the offense will look like when James really becomes James following his extended absence. James called his wind a little shaky, as he expected it would be. He scoffed at a question about the team's potential offensive chemistry, adding, "I can fit in with anybody." I don't even understand why that was a question. What's wrong with these people out here? As for becoming the first player to reach 23 seasons, he couldn't help but laugh when a reporter pointed out that 7 Jazz players weren't even born when he was drafted by Cleveland in 2003. Yeah, that just made my back hurt, James said, chuckling. While Lakers coach J.J. Redick praised James' play as very unselfish and Doncic gushed that he does things other people can't, there's no doubt that James' play will be criticized Wednesday by talking heads, who will question his fit with the current iteration of the team, which sailed to an 11-4 start. Can James really be a sidekick alongside Doncic? Can the player who's earning $52.6 million still be a star at his age? The questions will be endless, dizzying and often contradictory, as they have been in their various forms throughout his career. But the basic fact is this: last season, James finished 6th in MVP voting at age 40 after averaging 24.2 points, 8.2 assists and 7.8 rebounds, following a summer in which he led Team USA to a gold medal at the Olympic Games in Paris while winning MVP of the tournament. And this Lakers team could be very competitive if James, Doncic and Reeves play unselfish basketball and learn when to oscillate between being selfish and selfless. Ever since the Lakers stunned the basketball world by acquiring Doncic in a trade last February, they've made it clear this is Doncic's team. The Lakers are focused on the future, something James Camp is sharply aware of, with James' agent, Rich Paul, releasing a statement after the superstar picked up his player option over the summer in which he said they're closely monitoring the Lakers' moves, adding James wants to make every season he has left count. The fact that Doncic is the guy was driven home Tuesday, when he was introduced last during starting lineups instead of James, who was introduced first. And as the two superstars warmed up alongside one another before the game, Serbian music blared through the speakers at Crypto.com Arena instead of music James would pick.